Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak it out to lose your mind. I hope everybody's doing fine today. It's been a busy day. Today is 8:02. It is, I believe it's the 24th of August, if I am correct. Just recently just got back from City Hall in Tullahoma, Tennessee, seeing the new aldermen and school board members. And actually, the mayor, Ray Noah, saw them get ready in. So shout out to Ray Noah. Shout out to Jenna Allmarker. Shout out to my boy Sydney Hill. Shout out to Mrs. Dodd. I think it's Amy Dodson, if I'm correct on that, getting the names right. I might have missed one more person. I just didn't catch all the names, but shout out to them. And I just hope everybody holds everybody accountable. You know, keep an eye on your city, keep an eye on the movement, and, you know, be a part of it. You know, I would love to see more people in those city hall meetings. The ones that they'll let us come in on. So just shout out to all that. Just wanted to get that out the way. So I hope everybody's doing good. And yeah, we see people coming in right now. This is going to be nice. So I'm saying hi to Dr. Herschel Anatomy, Dr. Anatomy. I see Cynthia in there. I see my man Van up in there. So if y'all just sit tight just for a minute, I'm going to bring y'all in here just in a minute. I'm just going to explain what we're going to be talking about. Today, we're not talking about politics. Not talking about politics today. All right, we're taking a break from that, but definitely got a special show for y'all next week that kind of ties in with some of the issues that we may have racially, you know, embedded. Got a nice story, you know what I'm saying, to tell, and a nice guest. We're gonna kind of do a Barbara Walters style. You feel me? So anyway, so the what's that? My mic is making noise. Okay, what kind of noise is it making? What about now? Probably because I'm doing a bunch of moving and stuff. Is that better? Okay. So anyway, okay. So shout out to everybody that's in right now. Let me give a quick shout out to Dayo the Queen. All right. Got Mr. Petty in here, Cameron Howard, Sylvia Smith. What's up, girl? BJ Anderson, Christian Davenport, Danny Almacher. What's up? What's up, Karina Reed? What's up, Cameron Francis, and my producer Josh Lovett up in here. I'm pretty sure there's the rest of them on other outlets. Also, got to give a shout out to WCDT in Franklin County, the voice of Franklin County. Just connected with them. We're going to be partnering up, and they're going to be sharing our show on their page, you know, to a broader audience. So shout out to them. Shout out to Ricky Tips. We got some great things coming up, you know, pretty soon. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce this title, and I'm going to bring in our guest up in here right now. So you guys see the link. We're going to put that up on the comments. So y'all make sure y'all click in. I'll try to bring in as many people as I can, let as many people off as I can, and bring the new ones in, because I need the community to talk on this one. I'm done talking for a minute. So Alton Hargrove, what's up? Amber, what's good? What's good? and she's at a football game in Franklin County showing out. Oh, that's what's up. Thanks for the support. So the title of this show is called Approaching Women. Okay. Now this was actually brought to my attention by one of our viewers, and she was saying, she said, approaching women, men losing their touch. She was like, man, there was somebody up in my inbox, and I took it kind of like the wrong way. And she was asking me like, well, what is he trying to say? What is he doing? And she's like, I wish guys would, go back to the old ways of introducing themselves and stuff like that. I think they kind of lost their touch. And I'm like, she was like, can you do a show on that? I'm like, yeah. I said, let me do a show on that, because we need to kind of take a break right now from this political stuff, from all this racial stuff. You know what I mean? I think we all, trying to get along and understand each other. But now let's get personal. Let's dig into relationships and who. Okay, easy on the movement. Okay, what I might do on a commercial break is probably switch my mic. I might do that on the commercial break because I don't want to cause no problems. What's up, Kevin Lambert? Already, man, we definitely gonna be bringing him in soon. So, without further ado, I'm gonna bring in Dr. Anatomy. He is a life coach, relationship coach. He is the author of the book Anatomy of a Cheater. What better way to bring him in? I'm gonna bring in my boy Van from there you go, Scenario, the radio show. What's up, my man? Bringing him in. Where you come from? You in Murfreesboro, right?
I am in Murfreesboro. Yeah, I'm in my office in Murfreesboro right now.
Okay, so he's in Murfreesboro right now, and we're gonna bring in one more person. We actually got a lady up in here, Miss Cynthia. Come on up in here, girl. What's up, girl? Oh, we got to turn on our mic, Josh. We got you. Just a minute. You're okay. We're gonna turn your mic on real quick.
She muted her own mic. She needs to unmute herself.
You muted your mic, so you have to press the mic button so we can hear you, Cynthia. Press your mic button, Cynthia. You see it? It'll say mic. Okay. Let's see if it cuts on. Can't hear you yet. There's an option on there that says press. Yeah, I can't hear you. You got on your phone. You should have a unmute button. There you go. There you go. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you quite fine. And thank you for coming on to the show here at Royce's Rant. The subject matter is approaching women, men losing their touch. And I'm glad you hopped up in there. You're the first lady to hop up on here, and I hope that it encourage other women to hop up on here, because we want to hear y'all. And we actually want everybody that's watching to continue to share. Like, please share. If you're watching, do that for your boy. You feel what I'm saying? So, y'all, let's kind of introduce ourselves just real quick. You know what I mean? And we'll get into this topic. And we're gonna go ladies first with Cynthia. How you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself, real quick.
Native Nashvilleian, somewhat, originally from East Tennessee. Just a regular lady, mom, worker, side hustle, friend, confidant type situation. Yeah.
Okay. And that is she said regular up in here. That's what I'm talking. It's about to get good in here. I can already tell. We're gonna roll over to my man Van here with Scenario Radio Show. Man, give us a little introduction of yourself, sir.
Hey, I am Van Everett, host of the Scenario Radio Show. We cover a wide variety of topics, everything centered around Black people. And when I saw this particular topic, I was like, yeah, we talk about this too. So I'm always interested in kind of, being able to share some perspective on at least what I've gleaned from listening to other people talk.
And thank you for coming on the show, man. And we're going to get up here to, last but not least, but Dr. Anatomy. Go ahead and give them a brief introduction of yourself if they ain't seen you already.
Oh, hello, everyone. I am Dr. Anatomy. I am the author of the book Anatomy of a Cheater, and relationship expert, life coach, sex therapist. I do a little bit of everything. And I'm out here to help the public understand why relationships are still viable in 2020.
So I think we got a nice little startup in here. And I'm waiting on Jermaine, because Jermaine was talking that good stuff. Come on up in here, brother, when you get a chance, and any other ladies out there, because we definitely need to hear from the ladies. So, as usual, we're going to start with ladies first. All right. So Miss Cynthia, as you see, the title is Approaching Women. Have men lost their touch? Have you had any experiences in your lifetime to where you felt like that you were approached inappropriately? You wish that they had tried another angle? You've been disrespected in any type of way? And what ways can you, or advice that you can give to men on the pursuit of happiness with a woman, on maybe how to approach somebody like you or anybody else that you know like you?
So yes, I absolutely have been approached in a way that was completely inappropriate. Um, I have been approached, and it's not even just, I can't even say it's just a certain segment of guys. Anywhere ranging from 20s, which I was surprised, young guys would even, come at me because I'm obviously a little more mature. I don't know if they think I'm a cougar, or they're trying to find somewhere to live. That's not, how we get down. But from 20s all the way up until 40s and 50s, um, I think men have gotten, a lot of men, not all men, have gotten to the point where they kind of get complacent in how they talk to people, or they'll actually use lines that they hear in songs that are inappropriate to, try to strike up a conversation. And I love conversation. I love words. And so when you come at me like that, it's just an instant turnoff. And I don't really want anything to do with you from that point forward. I've been, someone grabs your arm and tries to pull you to them, or they, call you by one of your body parts. That's always fun. Um, so it's almost insulting the way a lot of people want to approach nowadays. And it gives you the sense that even those who are not necessarily inappropriate kind of are just lazy in the way they approach. I don't know if it's fear of rejection. I don't know if it's just, I don't have the mindset to form a conversation, but it's hard to weed through all of that.
I can definitely understand it. Can everybody hear me right now?
Yes.
We're good. Okay, I had to change mics on them real quick, but no, that's quite interesting. Cynthia. Now let me ask you this. I'm gonna turn up my mic, turn up my computer real quick. Um, who would you say now? Age ain't nothing but a number, but of course you need to be an adult, especially to speak to a woman like you that I see. Um, do you feel that it's more the younger guys that have a lack of knowledge on the approach, or older gentlemen, or both?
It's definitely a mixture, but it does tend to be the younger guys, um, 20s, early 30s. I'd even stretch probably to mid 30s at this point. That just haven't developed, in my opinion, honestly, have not developed the social skills to walk up to a woman who they may find attractive or interesting and say, "Hi, my name is. I just wanted to come over and introduce myself and try to get to know you." It literally is that simple. Most women would be receptive to that,
Mhm.
unless they have, a twisted mindset as well. Just a simple introduction um, is suitable, and it's like nowadays people feel like they got to be extra, or they got to, make some kind of splashy, intro, and
Yeah.
oftentimes it comes off very, very wrong.
Ah, I see. Well, we're gonna keep note on that, and I'm gonna move over to my man Van, man. So I definitely want to get a man's perspective, man, from stuff that you've seen during your life, or were you that type of person back in the day where you were just kind of hollering at women any type of way? Did you have some type of formula yourself? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Well, first, I guess the first thing to note is that I'm married. So
All
those
right,
now
we ain't
I'm
gonna get you
definitely
in
not.
trouble. We
Yeah,
ain't gonna
I'm
get you in
definitely not
trouble.
in that space anymore. But in back in that time, and I'm probably not the best. I'm the best person to be an indicator of how that usually works. And
Mhm.
and I don't say this to brag, but because I am a communicator.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, in being in communications, knowing how to communicate is a thing. So it's like for me, but I do get how that happens. But for me, it was never a big deal to be able to carry on the conversation and maintain some kind of conversation that was going to be interesting if it was somebody I was interested in.
Right.
Now I will say I have seen a lot of what she's talking about. over the years. As far back as when I was, in my 20s, a lot of the, people I hung out with, there was a lot of cats that was like that. And there have been men like that even now. I'm in my 40s now, and I've still seen some of it. And I've also seen men who just simply don't seem to want to take the initiative to spark up conversation too. So yeah, it seems to be a real big communication gap, really, to be honest, as far as initiating and building a conversation between men and women in this era.
Right.
Yeah, big gap.
So okay, and then I'm gonna come back with another question for all three of y'all. But let me get to Dr. Anatomy over here, man. And I've heard plenty of his stories, but I want him I want him to tell you guys himself. But man, just share some of your experiences, Dr. Anatomy, on just on approaching women. Maybe even some in your younger days, or maybe some mistakes you've seen other men have done, and just see if you can give some advice to some men on some of the approaches.
Oh, not a problem. Well, I say that in my book, I talk about, I didn't think when I was younger, I was one of the most attractive guys that were out there dating. So what I did was I always sat back a little bit and tried to mull over the situation, see what it is the woman was looking for, try to understand her body language and watch her fan away a few flies, so to say, before I would actually approach. Nowadays, the reason we're not approaching women the way we're supposed to, technology, social media, online dating, all that, walking up to a lady is gone, because you have a lot of confidence when you're behind a computer screen or when you're behind your phone. So men just have lost the ability to walk up to a female and say, hey, how you doing? How's your day? I was over there noticing that, hey, you were looking around, looking a little lost. So how can I help you? Or anything to make her smile. Because I always say, if you can get to her through a smile, then you can get to her. If you can stimulate her intellectually, then you can stimulate her loins. So all of it's gone nowadays because, technology has completely wiped it out.
I hear that. And let me just make a disclaimer. This is nothing against anybody, but just being that we're on different platforms now. If you feel the need to, what I'm saying, to say something a little derogatory, try to make it into a metaphor in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, just saying that, because I know Herschel. Woo, I know Herschel, you know what I'm saying? But he's a smart man. He knows how to use his words and all that, man. So I'm not worried about any of y'all. I just had to make that disclaimer because we're kind of turning over some leaves and stuff like that. So we can really conversate intellectually about some of these things. Because I'm curious myself. Because honestly, man, like for myself, whoo, I mean, as much as I talk, y'all, like I'm really kind of like one of them shy guys in a way, But then at the same time, I be feeling I ain't gonna say disconnected, but I feel like out of place sometimes because I don't know, maybe Cynthia, you can help me out with this. I feel like that even though you may say that, men need to approach in this type of way, it seems like that some women are used to the opposite, and let's just be real, like, some women just tell me that some dudes just come up in the inbox and, what I'm saying, show their birthday suit. You know what I mean? And some girls may fall for that. You feel me? And then what that does to me is create like a domino effect, for the females and for the male, because usually the male would just be like, oh man, all I gotta do is just send her this, man. She gonna hit it off just straight. And every man's gonna come to her that way. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I feel a little conflicted with coming to a woman with intellect, and it not being a good approach for them because that's not what they're used to. Is there anything you can, say about that, Cynthia?
So I definitely understand that aspect. I've gotten some interesting pictures before as a hello. That was how they introduced themselves, and sometimes disturbing. And sometimes I question, why are you proud of that? So I honestly feel like, especially when dealing with social media, if, for instance, my first knowledge of you, Royce, was through another friend's um, Facebook page. And so before I even sent you a request to be a friend, because I was interested in the content that was on your page,
Yeah.
I actually went through your page. So
Okay.
if I were going to try to approach, and that's what I suggest to men, before you make that approach, go through their social media and try to get an inclination of the type of person that they are. On my page, I do talk politics, I talk culture, I talk family, things of that nature. So for someone to then jump in my inbox with nudes, like what about me gave you the inclination that would be appreciated? So I think that actually using social media can be a help, because if you see something on their page that you guys can possibly discuss or spark up a conversation, that can be your icebreaker. Um, and legitimately, because I know that there are some younger ladies that kind of lost the art of conversation as well. It is not just on guys in that aspect, but all ladies like to feel engaged with the gentleman that they're trying to get to know. So find those things, those interesting things about them, or it might be something you have no clue about, but she may be willing to really talk about. So that'll open her up, and you can start a dialogue there without having to get too intimate or get too personal.
Mm, mm. That I like that. So Van, I'm gonna roll over to you. How do you feel about that? What she just said? It seems to make sense to me. Like, do you agree if you were telling some, if you were a mentor to some young men, do they need to do their research before they, pursue?
I guess what she's saying obviously, yeah, makes perfect sense. I don't want to negate that at all. At the same time, I'm also when I think about this, I would have to ask if some young guy was coming to me and asking me about talking to women. I would want to understand what his understanding was about women and what he was hoping to accomplish before I try to just teach him what to say to get the attention of a woman. Because I think in a lot of this, what we're talking about, again, I think we assume, I keep hearing everybody say that there was a time men knew how to approach women and the art of conversation. But in my experience, most people aren't really good at conversation, at least not initiating conversation with people they don't know. So I think, I don't know if there's an art to it as much as there is just operating first from the idea of knowing that the person you're talking to is a person. And if you can talk to them and approach them like a person rather than an objective to be something to be captured or whatnot, then I think you'll kind of come off a lot better. Because I think in the short way, what I'm saying is a lot of times when I've heard young men talk about how to approach women, what they're trying to figure out is a cheat code to get a woman to do what they want, rather than how to actually have the conversation. If you value the conversation, you'll find a way to have the conversation. But if what you're looking for is just how the cheat code, there's no cheat code, because it's not a game. They're human beings.
No, I feel you on that, man. And no, I definitely agree. We actually had Susan just pop up in here, but we'll bring her in just in a minute as soon as I get some remarks from Dr. Anatomy here. What do you have to say, I guess, to the two other guests, man? Is there something you kind of piggyback off of? Anything you want to add to that as far as researching? Because I noticed, Herschel, you said that you need to learn how the woman feels about certain things, what she likes and dislikes. But what if you don't know that right off the back? You know what I'm saying? Let's just say you see the chick and you're like, oh man, I want to talk to her. In your way, like, how do you read all of that before you make an approach?
Well, to piggyback off what Van was saying, people nowadays, they are looking for a cheat code, but it's the millennials. They don't have to learn how to approach people anymore. They don't have to walk up to them and strike up a conversation, because it's just not there for them. It's like someone didn't give them the opportunity or the wherewithal to say, hey, this is how you do this, son, like my father did me. I don't know the ages of the two other hosts over there, but they look like they're in the same era as myself and as you. And when we were coming up, you have to have some type of swag, as they say, or some type of approach to the woman. You have to know something about something to have a conversation with. You couldn't just walk up and say, hey, do you play video games? Or do you Facebook? That's not how things work anymore. Back in the good old days, we used to have to ask them for their phone number. Those things are out the window now. Everybody, hey, hit me up on Facebook or see me on IG. It's not like the way it used to be. So when I was coming up, You have to take, like I said, an extra moment to look at the person, to feel what they were feeling, or find some way to be different than the other guy who was trying to approach her. Talk about her smile, talk about her appearance, talk about her voice, something that alludes to how she feels, or that can get you outside of the next guy. I always tell my sons, if you are one step better than the guy before you, well, then you're ahead of him. And that's exactly how I always approach dating a woman. It's not about her look. It's not about her style. I'll tell you one more. Sometimes the person in the room who's not the most attractive, who gets your attention, will get you the attention of the whole room. Now ponder that for a second.
Okay. It's pondering. And no, I appreciate that, Herschelon. And I'm gonna bring in also my boy Kevin Lambert, man. He's gonna be a future sponsor of the show, man. That's the cell phone guy. You feel what I'm saying? He hook you right on up, man, about 30-45 minutes with some of your cell phone devices. And I think he just got disconnected again. I think he'll come back in. We'll find the backup in there. But no, I appreciate y'all's input. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring up a scenario. Okay. But before I do that, I think let me make sure he's coming back on, because I don't want to keep him waiting. All right, Kevin, can you hear us?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. You can bring him in, Josh. Well, that's probably him, that dark space. What you doing in that dark, man? What he doing in the dark?
Good topic of conversation, we being in the dark, right? Yeah.
No, I feel you, man. It's all good. So, man, let me. I know you've been tuning in, earlier today. Russell, I see you, man. You just ain't signed in yet. You're not live, but yeah, Kevin. Just from what you heard thus far, what's some? Tell us some of your experiences as far as you're approaching women, back in your heyday, or even now that you probably failed at, and then what really worked for you. You can unmic him, unmute him. He probably muted himself. Kevin, did you mute yourself? Yep, I think you did. You have to unmute yourself, Kevin, on your phone.
Yeah, he muted himself.
Okay. Oh, there he goes. All right, yeah, let's try that
There
again.
you go. But yeah, I mean, I'm 49 years old now. I've been married 3 times, and met my first wife at a Vanilla Ice concert. Back then in the 90s, the game. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Cynthia laughing at you.
Cynthia, I did that thing. That's where I met her. The game was a lot different back then. Totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not even the same. I mean, I think women were a lot more approachable back then. And then, of course, marriage, and poof, I'm 49, divorced 3 times, single 6 years now, just like Daniel. And, it's not even the same. It's like, if you just try to go say hi to a woman, a lot of times they're like, a lot of times they're around their friends or something, or the atmosphere is just different. Am I right, Cynthia? You can't even look at my face, but I can see yours. It's totally different. I've got friends of mine who, I would rather meet a woman in person. I don't want to, scope out somebody on Facebook. I don't want to, immediately jump in and dig in and know everything about them first, because that takes out the, hey, how you doing? Let me find out a little bit about you.
Yeah.
It takes all that out. And I've literally got friends of mine who will look on other friends' Facebook pages, find a cute girl, cold calling like a telemarketer. Before I came on, I just got on the phone with a girl I dated for about 2 months, and she had some dude she didn't even know, just instantly right out of the gate, just like Cindy was saying, inappropriate. I mean, sending pics of this, asking if she likes to do this. And her response, and she's 36. Her response was, "I'm not interested." Because these guys nowadays are going about it all wrong. The ones that are doing that.
Yeah.
But I still haven't. I literally have not figured out the dating scene the way it is now at 49. And I see, I've got some people I know that have literally nothing to offer a woman like nothing. Well, maybe one thing. But
okay.
But I've got a lot. I mean, I've got like ace, I consider my aces across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got, my house is paid for, this, that, and the other. I mean, I've got my stuff together. But I see guys who are borrowing $20 from their buddies that are the same age as me, one after another, after another, after another. No problems getting dates. And I'm a big dude. I mean, I'm 6'4", 295. I'm a big dude.
Okay.
I got guys that are bigger than me, guys that are a little bit smaller than me. It's all around me, but Kevin's getting nothing.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We got to get you in touch with Dr. Natty.
Oh, and on top of everything else, I'm a DJ also. I still get nothing.
Oh,
Help
man.
me, Doc.
Yep. We're going to get to that in a minute. So
come on now.
Before I bring Russell in, because he's in here waiting, before I bring Russell in, first I just want to reiterate the people that are on here. We got Herschel Williams, Dr. Anatomy, aka Dr. Anatomy. We got Cynthia in here. We got Van up in here. Dr. Anatomy, I want you guys to go check out his book, Anatomy of a Cheater. You can find that on Amazon. I also want you guys to to check out my man Van, man, with Scenario Radio. He's going to be boosting up, I believe he said, like in September, man, just revamping everything, and can't wait to look forward to his show and everything he's going to be talking about. So you guys make sure y'all check him out. He's actually got the banner right there, so he's already plugged in. We got Miss Cynthia over here. She's got her own page out there, and she talks about some of the stuff we're talking about right now. So I want y'all to follow her and see what she's talking about. And also definitely shout out to WCDT Radio, Franklin County, the voice of Franklin County. We're going to be working with them soon, man, and partnering up on some things. But let me go ahead and bring in right here, my guy Russell Hall is in the building. What's up, my man?
What's up, brother?
Man, chilling. So let me we'll say hello to everybody. Everybody, this is Russell.
What's up, everybody?
All right, we got a nice little meeting. Now, look, Cynthia, I don't want to make it seem like we ganging up on you here. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it is. We need to call you holding your own. I feel that, man. I would like some more women to come up in here, man, to kind of out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Unless she's being a spokesperson for y'all. But I see y'all in the comments. Y'all click that link. You feel me? So I'm gonna go to Russell before I head back up to the top here. Russell Hall, man, what's up, my guy? What's up?
They're trying to hack this account again. It's not working.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, that's
TMI.
Yeah, right.
No, but listen, man. So what you've heard thus far, the topic is approaching men losing their touch. Can you tell a little bit about, maybe some of your experiences where you were trying, to approach a woman to get to know her, or, saying the first words and you might have got rejected? Things that you learned over time on, how to approach a woman if you're attracted to her. Just give us a little something.
In this day and age, it's lost. There's no more personality towards it. It's, you have to get on a computer, you got to get on a phone, and go to a dating website. Because in my experiences, you approach a female, on a one-on-one level, like humanly, you're looking like a creeper. Does anybody agree with that?
Yeah. Cynthia, she's hold on. Yeah. What'd she say?
I don't agree, and only because typically it's in the way that you approach. It's in the way that you say hello. If you eyeballing and looking her up and down first and checking out her booty first, that does kind of come off creepish. And so typically we'll, not be interested, because it kind of leads into, I already know where your head's at, so why even waste time? But if it's a genuine eye contact,
I see that finger up there.
smile back.
Well, hey,
I mean, I'm not saying don't check out a woman. I'm not saying that, because we definitely check out dudes.
Okay.
You gotta kind of be slick about it. Gotta be a little slicker about it.
Let me ask you a question, girl.
Go ahead.
I seen this chick earlier at a store. It's close to where I live at. She's new to where I live at, and I found her attractive. I've been single for about 6 years, and I thought about, being sly, look up the phone number for the store she works at. I was like, man, that's creeper shit. So, I mean, do you think I was right or wrong? I did not do it though.
Well, you know what? So hold on for a minute. I saw Dr. Anatomy's hand up, and I'm gonna
Say,
slide over to Van after that because I see him
See,
trying to intervene
I gotta
between
know how that came off.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
gotta know.
cool. Dr.
But
Anatomy, go. What's on your mind with that?
He was expressing how men approach you based on how you look. Well, you know what? This is 2020, ma'am. So if you guys are going to wear those yoga pants, those stretch pants, or the ones that look like they've been painted on, you're going to get our attention. You're going to make us stop and take a second look. And so when we do that, you know what? Those things are hypnotic. And so when we do that, for us, if you're not leaving the gym or you're not working out, we're thinking, wait a minute, she wants a little attention. So let me give her what she's asking for. So there's a nice and cordial way to say, wow, you looking really nice today, ma'am. Or can I take a second look? To me, those are conversation starters. There's always a professional or a nice approach to say something good to a person, even if it is in her mind derogatory. You can take that derogatory connotation off of it and just be real nice. You know, oh my goodness, man, you are rocking that. I like that.
This is true, and like I said, that's the easiest way to actually get your second look. If you, I wear leggings all day because they're comfortable. They're light and breezy. So you know, if I'm in my leggings or if I'm in a sundress, the easiest way for you to get your full access second look is to be like, how you doing, Miss Lady? You look really nice in that dress. And then it's gonna, you know, I'm actually gonna show off for you. I might hit a pose for you, and you get your whole look. But again, it's different from saying, a thickness, a sexy black. That's like at that moment, I'm done with whatever you're saying. As opposed to, you know, ma'am, I even take Miss Lady. I was called a cougar 2 weeks ago. Hey, Lady Cougar, how you doing?
Yes. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, Miss Cougar.
No.
With that plate in the microwave, waiting on us, man. Wrapped in Saran wrap. Yes.
And if you earn it, then you get it. But that's not the way to earn it.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold that. Now hold that thought, everybody. I'm gonna go over here to Van, man. So everything that you heard thus far, what kind of input do you have in there, man? Do you see that? Now, I see you in there, Susan. We'll bring you here in just a minute. I see you on the audio part. It's all good. Do you see do you see it, you know, going back to the old ways? Do you see that do you see that there needs to be a new approach? What do you see the future in courting and introducing yourself to a woman? Where do you see that going?
I think hopefully it goes forward. I think everybody who's clinging to this idea of going back to something is trying to go back to something that either never really existed or what did exist wasn't really that beneficial. We're living in an era where the expectations of what a woman is different than in any other time in human history. So a woman shouldn't have to, for one, a woman shouldn't have to decide what she's going to wear based on what the response that she gets. It's you're going to want to respond to her like a human being or you're not. And the responsibility for how we respond to one another is on each of the individuals. But I think so for me, my concern is that we were clinging to this idea of where if it was just like it used to be, then it would be better. And I don't think it would be. I think we should have more people just simply willing to be able to engage in a conversation with a woman. Just they can be attracted, they can express that they're attracted, but I think we should have to reevaluate this. And I know that it's difficult. I get it that it's difficult and that it may be different, but it's supposed to be difficult. Things have changed and things aren't going back to the way that they were. So really, this is the time for us to be figuring that out. And I know that's hard, but I think the same way that we look at, I'll put it this way, the same way that we look at race relations, all the time you hear white people say, well, I don't know how to talk to them because they take everything racially. And it's like, well, and what they do is they put the onus on black people to say, well, you guys should be easier to talk to. It's like, no, things have changed. You have to figure this out. And that's the same thing with men and women. Men have to figure this out if they want to develop a worthwhile relationship, whether that just be through dating, whether it be something more serious with women, they're going to have to figure it out. And the first step to figuring it out is to let go of the idea that we need to be able to tell them what they got to wear, or whether or not they're going to be what somebody's mother was, or any of those things. Try seeing them as they are, where they are, and approaching them from that perspective first. It's the way that I look at it.
Okay. That's what's up with that, man. And actually, I think Susan's been trying to get on here for a minute here, and I think we can bring her in. Actually, or either that, or we can take a quick break. Whatever you want to do, producer. I just know Susan's been trying to get up in here. Can you hear me, Susan? Oh, I think she's frozen. Okay. All right. So can y'all still hear me? Everybody can hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
we're gonna take just a little quick break, real quick, man. Just gotta pay the bills real quick, man. Y'all, I want to introduce y'all to this is Jay's Butter, jaysbutter.com. That's www.jaisbutter.com, and it is formulated, CEO, copywritten, you know what I'm saying, by my homie Jamie Moorhead. You feel what I mean? And let me tell you about like this product, man. Like, she has these hair products, man, to help your hair grow. And she even has these body creams, right? She's been on my show before in the first season. We had an exclusive interview with her. And she was cracking me up when she said, and I didn't even know that, you know, most lotions have estrogen in them. You feel me? So when men put on these lotions, you know, we might be getting in our feelings a little bit, might be draking it, and we may got the wrong lotion on, that Jergens, the Suave, and all that stuff like that. But you know, she's found a body cream specifically for men that will keep your testosterone intact. So I'm gonna need y'all to really check this out. www.jaysbutter.com. This is for men and for women. Men, I bet y'all didn't know that. I don't know, y'all might not know that. Y'all didn't know that most lotions have estrogen in it. So that might be the problem with some of those sensitive people up in here. So go on to get you some of that Jay's Butter to man up, keep that testosterone. You know, the ladies, get some of those hair products, man, if you're having problems growing your hair like I am. You feel me? And check her out, man. She's actually going to revamp after August the 31st. So starting, it's still August, yeah. So after August 31st, which would be back in September, she'll be right back up and running in September. But y'all make sure y'all check out that website, jaysbutter.com. Shout out to Jamie Moorhead. And I also want to do unofficially, you know, to my man Kevin, man. He's still up in here. He's going to be sponsoring us pretty soon, man. And I want you guys to definitely check out, you know, his page, The Cell Phone Guy. You know what I'm saying? Right here in Tullahoma, man. He'll get your stuff right in about 30 to 45 minutes, probably an hour at the most, depending on how busy he is. But he makes stuff look brand new. As you see some of these before and after pictures that he took, some of those cell phones right there that you see look like they done been through hell and hot water, and then they come descending down from heaven, like you see right up in there, man. So yeah, look at that right there. Golly, man, somebody just said, forget life and my phone. But then he brought it over there to the cell phone guy, and he turned it into a brand new thing. You feel me? Look at that right there. So shout out to Kevin Lambert right there, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on his Facebook page, The Cell Phone Guy. And we'll be having more information once we get everything together. And I actually, let's get back to the main screen here. And I want to, okay, so we got Susan and Just Call Me Kidda up in here. I think we reloaded. That's about 8. Well, this is like not Jeopardy, but Hollywood Squares. Hold on. All right. How's it going, Susan?
It's good. It's good.
Good. It's good to see you, man.
Agreeing with a lot of the conversation. I don't think it's lost on men. I think that what a lot of you were saying is kind of just the now generation, like my generation. You know, we're used to in your face, you know, one-on-one conversations, not the social media. We've kind of had to adjust, you know, redirect in how we met people, and it's hopefully you know, they'll get a clue. The younger generation will get a little bit of a clue.
Now I heard that. Have you ever been approached by a guy, rather through social media or just, you know, directly up close and personal? Have they ever come up to you in a disrespectful way or in a way that you felt that was uncomfortable? And how did you deal with that?
Yeah, I have, definitely lots of pictures, inappropriate pictures, as I like to call them,
Uh-oh.
If the first thing you're trying to send me is a dick pic, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Move on to the next one. Not so much in public. I don't, not really. But like through social media, you just get like a lot of people friend requesting you or just sending you messages and, like, hey, are you, down to F, and, just no. If that's the first thing that you want to say to me, no, thank you.
Man, I hear that, man. I hear that. And I'm gonna bring Just Call Me Keita up in here, and once I get from her, I'm gonna leave a chance for our gentleman up here to even ask you ladies some questions respectfully, like what is it that y'all want, from a man, because that's also a part of this whole thing. Let me make sure that Keita can hear me. Keita, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can. You came on strong, honey. I hear you. How you doing?
I approached you with my chest. It's coming from my chest. I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm doing good, man. And we definitely wait for you to say it with your chest right here. So what you've been hearing thus far, just to kind of a recap, we're talking about approaching women. Have men lost their touch when it comes to introducing yourself to a woman and courting? Is that something that you agree with? Do you have any experiences that you've had? Oh yeah. And let me just make this disclaimer for everybody, what I'm saying? Let's keep it cool on the language. Let's be metaphorical. Like cussing is no problem as long as it's not that derogatory. The shits and the fucks. You feel what I'm saying? So let's be metaphorical a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm sorry we got to dress it up like this, but you know what I'm saying? I think we can fully express ourselves on some things. You know what I mean? You got the thumbs up. All right. So Miss Keita, what experiences have you had as far as a man approaching you inappropriately? And how did you deal with it? And what would you like to see better if you were talking to all the men out there that's wondering?
Well, first and foremost, like I'm sure just like any female, really, just being a female, you're approached by many different types of males in many different ways. And like Susan, I've been approached with inappropriate photos. I've been approached directly face to face, somebody saying, hey, let me holler at you, speaking to me in a way. First of all, it's almost like the respect is missing from the conversation. If you don't have respect for me approaching me, then you don't have respect for me after the fact. And then leading up to any form of interaction after that, I have to know that I'm being respected completely. And I feel like standards have went down. I feel like people accept. There's a lot to do with how someone feels about themselves. So if someone's not in the best place themselves, then they're going to be more apt to accept things less than. So then once you accept those less than things, they become, we're all like kind of like chameleons. So we just adapt and we act accordingly. Yeah. So you act off of what you know and what you're used to. So once that becomes what you're used to, then it becomes the norm, and then it circulates, and then it gets bigger. And then that's like what becomes what it is now. Like us saying it's 2020, other than being, respectful of what somebody wants to be called, we can't let 2020 be an excuse as to why we don't act like it used to be, like when it comes to courting and things like that. Cause I'm all about courting and going back to things originally, but it's because back then there wasn't ease of access. People had to try harder. If you like, dude said up there, wrestle, he said the girl new to the community, right? Well, guess what bro would have done back in the day? He would have walked to her house and knocked on her door. You came to me. You come to me. You get what I'm saying? I didn't, so it's a lot. This is a really good subject. I will say that, but it's a lot to it. It's so
No, that's what's up, man. And just stay on for a minute. I'm going to go through order of operation because I know Russell had his hand up because I definitely want to get back to the men here. So I'm kind of going to go in an L-shaped type thing. But since Russell he had pointed his finger up, what do you have to say? You seem like you wanted to rebuttal that, man. What you got?
That's real quick. What I've learned with online dating, it's there's no more respect towards women, and I think it goes vice versa, towards the other way. You can hide behind a computer, you can type all these messages for 2 or 3 days, and you say one wrong thing, and boom, you're
good.
fucking done.
Excuse
my language. But you're done. Like you don't meet their standards as to what they want, and they just you're done. That's why this whole dating, like online stuff, it's BS.
Hold your horses, Cynthia. Let me roll over to my man Van here, man. There's something bubbling up in there. What you got?
Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse.
It's all good.
But I will say this. I think people are clinging too much to this thing that they fantasize about what used to be. And the thing is, it really doesn't. Okay, here's an example. For the vast majority, I don't know how old most of you are, but I'm 46 years old. I've been alive long enough that there was a time that women did not have control over their own money. Most women didn't even have control over their own when they would get pregnant, like birth control, all these things, their own bodies. And so the world you're wanting to go back to, and where women responded a certain way, men acted a certain way, was a world where women actually didn't have much power. Women have a lot more power now, so they do have the choice to say, well, I don't like what he said, so I'm not going to carry this conversation any further. And actually, that's a good thing. Everyone should be able to have a choice in who they want to talk to. It doesn't take long to figure out when you don't like what you're hearing. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the way things are going. It simply means that people have more choices, and more choices are better. Now, that may mean that it may require more of us to be something worth choosing, but that if it means that it's going to be requiring more of us, that's not a bad thing either. Now, and again, I'm not trying to overlook the fact that I understand online dating can be a difficult thing, and that the interactions and how those things go can be hard to navigate. But I'm saying I don't want to lump all of this on online dating, when some of this is simply because we're trying to cling to something that does not exist anymore and shouldn't exist anymore.
I like that, man. Dr. Anatomy, what do you have to add to that?
There's a couple of things. Online dating. When it comes to online dating, there's actually power in the numbers. So guys will go after, let's say they go after 20. If they go after 20, 10 might send you a wink back. Out of the 10, 5 might reply, and 3 will talk to you. So if I'm online dating and I see women that I actually want to communicate with, how about being different? Send them a question about their profile, or answer a question in their profile, and then come back and say, let me expound, and leave it there. Women are extremely inquisitive beings. So if they go through all of their likes and they see that one person said, let me explain, or allow me to explain, guess who they're going to click on and ask questions or answer questions for? That particular person. So my answer is always to be different. Do something different to set yourself apart. I just had a message from one of my listeners here, and she said that women expect to be approached about their body. They expect to be approached about their sexuality, so on and so forth. She said she has no problem with that. She said, but she wants you to come at her differently. She said, reach out to her and say something that she's not expecting, and that will stop her in her tracks and get her attention long enough for you to shoot your shot, if that makes sense to you.
No, that makes plenty of sense, actually. So let me roll over here to Kevin. I'm gonna get back to the ladies here, because I see a lot of head shaking and stuff. It looks like we're getting somewhere, man. Kevin, what do you have to add to that?
I think I think there's a big difference between being respectful and being boring. And when I say that, I'm saying you can literally be so respectful and so polite that you're Mr. Nice Guy. and then you're boring. You know, it's like, yeah, and I found that over the last 6 years, trying to do my thing. And I have been way too nice. I've been way too respectful. I mean, I don't know if you'd be really too respectful. Just maybe showing respect too often.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's like walking a tightrope. Really, it's crazy.
Man, I hear you, man. I definitely think I think social media has a lot to do with it. I think social media makes people not so social in a way to where I had an incident where I'm gonna get to the ladies here in just a minute and tell them a quick little story. I had an incident where, I was really getting into this chick, man, man, Van Herschel, y'all. I was like, I said, it was her birthday, and I saw her face to face, right? And I told her happy birthday. And she said, "Ow, that don't count because you didn't say it on Facebook." I'm like, you see, now you already programming my mind that that now in order to really catch your attention, I got to do it on Facebook because talking to you face to face seems to be a problem. So let me get to the ladies here right here. Yep. And okay, I know that he gave me that message for Russell. I think Russell know though. Russell know. But anyway, so let me start over. Let me start over to Keita, and then we'll go to the right from Susan to Cynthia. Keita, do you feel that social media makes people not so social anymore? And also, what do you have to add to what these gentlemen were saying above?
Yes, I do. So one, I don't know anybody's name, so apologies there. One, I
All
wanted
good.
to say I'm 28. I may not sound like it, but I promise I'm 28. But I agree with dude in the white t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like times have changed, and because of that, you can't ignore that fact. So it's like that's something that courtship back then is not what it is now, and it's not going to be. So that part, respectfully, you do need to let go of. And then more or less as far as being approached, social media and stuff like that. Social media is a mask. It's a facade. It's where the internet, period, online dating, whatever. You get to put up whatever you want. I have physically seen people I know, people who I've lived with, all that kind of thing, them put up a complete different person on social media than what is literally right in front of me. And from there, you can't be so sure of anything. And it's like, again, setting expectations. Like you can't always do that. But I feel like depending on your approach, whatever approach you take, there is a way to do it. There's many ways that it can be done, but it's in how you do it. Now, when approaching a woman, like you said, you show that interest, you stick out, you be different, you do something different to catch their eye, catch their attention. Showing interest and stating your intentions is probably the leading thing when it comes to someone who is taking interactions with someone seriously. Like if you're wanting a serious relationship, you want a companionship with somebody, you want that interaction with somebody, like you got to know what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like who sent you? Why are you here? Let me know up front, because I'm not here to play around. I don't have time. I don't wear a watch. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on that. You gotta come with it. If you coming, let me know what you coming with, because I ain't got no guessing games. I see you, but I need you to tell me.
I need you to tell me. Yes, Susan, what do you have to say off that?
Oh, I definitely did the online dating thing for a while, and
Okay.
so everyone knows I'm 50, 50, yes. 50.
Okay, all right.
So, 7 years of on social media, off social media, and something that has really kind of stuck out in my mind is we have to learn to pivot, like we do in our business with times, being stuck in and whatever, back to what we're living with now. You have to pivot in with the times, and how you approach people. So, yes, you're gonna see somebody online and they're going to stick out, and then you have a conversation. Okay, but you can't really know until you get at least some kind of face-to-face. I mean, if someone's not wanting to meet you or video, at least chat with you, something's off. So, you know, it is on to the next. And people can say their intentions, you know, oh yeah, I want a serious relationship, because everybody's saying that they want that. But we all, you know, we all want everything that comes with the serious relationship. So pivot, just kind of figure it out. And like I said, it's a combination of, yes, you're looking at people's social media, you're trying to find out things about them before you know, want to have a face-to-face meet. But you know, if you're delaying meeting, I don't know, that was always a negative to me. You know, I've always wanted to meet sooner rather than later, because my time's valuable.
Yeah.
And your time's valuable. I'm not trying to waste your or my time if we're not vibing, because I mean, you can't really know if you're going to vibe with someone until you meet them face to face. So
That's true. And Mandy Love said people don't have serious relationships anymore, just a series of hookups. Cynthia, I'm glad you got back on here. So what do you have to add to that, man, before we get back up into the men and round this off a little bit?
So addressing what Kevin and Russell said about being too nice, or the things that you say online. Okay. Kevin, you can never, it's not necessarily the be too nice, or it gets boring. It only gets boring when it's that good morning, beautiful, every day in a row, and there's literally no other conversation all day long other than that good morning, hit me up. Like, I just want to let you know I'm still there. Like, I'm a lady who, I have a broad array of interests. Most guys were like, oh wow, you're into sports. Like, I know football. I know football. And so, like, when they're surprised that that's a conversation we can have. Again, if you're, you know, if your main source of interaction and dating is online, you have tools there to actually formulate a conversation, and use the tidbits that she's actually dropped on social media to formulate those conversations. If after 2 or 3 days the conversation drops off, or if after 2 or 3 days it went from a polite conversation to now we start talking a little more intimate, now we start talking about hookups, and that's not where I want the conversation to go, yeah, I'm gonna dead the conversation, because if I didn't lead you there, we don't need to go there. And so that's where I think a lot of people take the wrong turn. You get too intimate too quickly. You know, there's still rules to it. Don't call me after 11 o'clock. Don't ask me what I got on. That's not none of your business. Don't try to video chat with me if I say, hey, I gotta jump in the shower, get ready for work. Let me come in there with you. That's not, come on now, that's not a conversation we need to have if we're trying to get to know each other. Gotcha. Like Keita said, you know, well, actually not like what Keita said, what Van was saying about not going back to a time where women had to forego their power because of the situation. It's absolutely right. The thing about it is, when I feel like when Keita says go back to that time of dating and courting, what we're saying is take the chance of approaching and saying hello. 9 times out of 10, we're not gonna try to embarrass you. We're not trying to shoot you down. Just be polite and be chivalrous. Like, you know, guys don't hold doors open and things of that nature. Even if you got hands full of, you know, groceries and stuff, they still let the door slam in your face. Just have that tinge of gentleman still left in you. And again, have a conversation. Be willing to have a conversation and not just, like Mandy said, jump to the hookup. I know that the ideology nowadays is that everyone is kind of looking for the hookup, looking for, you know, who can they jump to next, things of that nature. Not everybody is like that. And not everybody, I mean, some people are in a place in their life where, you know, they free, they're not trying to be locked down, they're just trying to have fun, and that's all good for them. But you can't make that approach to every woman. There are still majority women out here who are looking for something that has substance to it. You know, be a person of character, be genuine. Like you said, everybody's gonna say they looking for something long term when really they're just looking for a hookup, because that's what they know you want to hear. Be genuine in what you're saying, what you're doing, and that will get you a lot farther than just putting on the Facebook facade, is what I call it. You know, I gotta date your personality or your representative until you're comfortable. Like, let's get comfortable out the gate, so that, again, like Susan said, let's not waste time. Yeah.
I dig that. Let's not waste any time. And we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come back and close all of this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna start with the men on that, and then close off with the ladies, since it's about y'all. You feel me? So we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, man. Y'all sit tight, all right?
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Check it out. It's free. What? And we like free. No way. And they also have tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Okay. Anchor will do all the work for you. No. So it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other media outlets. What? You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right. Can you guys hear me all right? Y'all hear me? Okay. All right. Yes. Sorry for the mishap right there, but I'll just end it off with that Anchor. Anchor.fm is actually, if anybody wanted to start a podcast from their phones, from their car, from the bathroom, in the shower, you can actually download the app Anchor, or on your computer, anchor.fm, and make sure when y'all do that, y'all check out Royce's Rant podcast on there. Royce's Rant podcast, or just type in Royce's Rant and check out all of the shows that we've done since Juneteenth of 2019 up until this one, which will be loading up pretty soon. But hey, this is the best way to do a podcast, the easiest way, the simplest way, and you get paid for doing these commercials that you just saw right here. So you guys want to start a podcast, you know what I'm saying, and speak your thoughts, you feel me? Anchor.com is the best and easiest way for beginners. And I advise y'all to check that out. It's been good to us, and it's going to be good to you. So we're going to head back to the main screen, and there I am right there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. He look all right. But yeah, man, we're going to head on back to the main screen. And we're going to close this off by starting it off with the guys, man, as far as here's my question. Since the ladies already answered it, I'm going to have y'all answer this and then kind of close off on what y'all want to say about to the young gentlemen or even older gentlemen that need some, need a little pep in their step, a little advice. So we're gonna start. Okay, there goes Russell. Russell, can you hear me?
I was out on the porch, buddy.
Are you good, man? So we're gonna close this off, and the question is, do you feel that social media makes people antisocial? And any words that you have for the young men out there that need to know some things about approaching women from your experience?
Your question is, do I feel like social media makes us antisocial? I think it does, because people hide behind, a computer, hide behind their phone. There's no actual interaction like you and I had. Like when we shot our movie here, it's just there's no interaction with people these days. It's all social media. There's no like, hey, shake your hand, we give you a hug, we have dinner together, stuff like that. It's just, that's the way I feel about it.
I feel you. Hey, short and sweet to that, man. Let's head over there to Kevin, my man.
I am way more gun shy when it comes to social media. A lot of people say, you struggle behind the keyboard. I am not. But when I'm out and I'm about up on town, I'm everywhere. I want to go sit in my seat. Let's say I go to a bar or something. I want to get to my seat. It's going to take me 20 minutes to walk in the door, get to that seat, because I'm going to say hi to a lot of people. I'm going to talk to a lot of people. I know a lot of people, but I'm better when I'm around people, like physically, like in front of people. I could talk about anything. Like you were talking about earlier, guys, how's your day? How's your morning? That is boring. Royce, to tell you, we talked a little bit the other day, and I can talk about anything. It does not matter the subject. You name it, I will talk about it. And it's hard to shut me up sometimes. That is true. And the one other point I wanted to add earlier is there's one phrase that I hear a lot of guys say to women, and that women also say to guys. And I actually said this to a girl one time, but we were talking, and she asked me about my last relationship, which I didn't really think was important to talk about, but she wanted to talk about it, so I talked about it. And then I told her about it, and then her response was, "I'm not like other women." To me, when a woman says, "I'm not like other women," you just became like every other woman.
I feel you on that. We
That
all
goes for
know
guys
that one
too.
right there, man. And
when a guy says, "I'm not like other guys," he's trying to get in your pants. When a woman says, "I'm not like other women," she's trying to get somewhere, maybe your pants, maybe your heart, somebody getting your wallet.
hey, like they said on "Don't Be a Menace."
Just saying.
Message. Well, we
You know.
gonna roll over here to we're gonna roll over here to my man Van. Man, anything you want to add to that?
I guess in closing, I'd say, I do think on some level, social media does inhibit people's ability to learn how to interact with one another. It does seem to be a stumbling block. I will say that. I think we have to make the effort to kind of work around it, because social media at the same time still is a good tool. But in closing, I think two things come to mind when I hear some of the things that some of the men have been saying. When they were talking about not knowing how nice they should be, if they should be nice or not be nice. You were talking about encountering a woman who only wanted you to say things to her where other people could see it on social media. The other guy was talking, Russell was mentioning saying the one wrong thing and being cut off. And I think it speaks to two different things I think that we need to keep in mind as men. One, we need to make it a priority to stop talking to women we don't like. So if you have to try to figure out how to be nice to somebody, or whether or not you should or shouldn't be nice, then you're trying to figure out to be what they want you to be rather than who you are. That's not somebody you want to talk to in the first place. So we need, if it's somebody who wants a social media relationship and you don't want that, don't talk to them. It's not what you want. So we have to stop talking to people we don't like. And secondly, we have to stop having conversations. We have to start having conversations with women that aren't always transactional. So that we can understand the value of what it's like to talk to a woman simply because she's interesting to talk to. And then we don't have to figure out what to say as much. It becomes a lot easier, because I think a lot of times what we're trying to do is, again, we're trying to find the cheat code. We want to know, what do I say to get the thing that I want? Maybe the thing you want is a relationship. Maybe the thing you want is sex. Maybe the thing you want is some sort of status. Whatever the thing is, if the thing is the only object, then you'll never figure out what to say, because you haven't learned how to talk to a woman simply because her conversation is valuable. And if her conversation isn't valuable, you shouldn't be talking to her anyway.
Boom. And may I add to this, but somebody on my stream, on my comment, said, "Van, you look like a light-skinned Tyrese, man." Somebody was getting on you. Always Coca-Cola. Look, hey, got him. Hey, but let me roll over here to Dr. Anatomy, man, to close us off with the men, and of course I'm gonna have to let the ladies, have their last voice. But Dr. Anatomy.
Yeah, I'm like Van, you know what I'm saying? You got to know what it is you want. Know your goal. When you get out there and you start dating, let's not just date for fun. Let's not just date for action. Have a goal. I always ask people, what is your end goal? Because it looks like to me, remember 10, 15 years ago when they started this thing called speed dating? It seems like we're living that every day throughout our lives. Every chance you get is an opportunity to sell yourself, to be you. I want to start a company. Me and Van might need to talk together. I'm gonna start a company that everybody has a dating resume. You can thumb through the files and say, okay, well, he did this and then he did that. And just like you have a job resume, you need to have a dating resume, because it seems like we're not learning from our mistakes. We keep making the same mistakes over and over again. To me, we've lost the human aspect, the humanistic aspect of what it means to just be nice, just be yourself. And in closing, let me say this to every man, all you have to do is be honest. If you're honest with a female about what you want, what your true desires are, I guarantee you, you are 10 steps ahead of all the other guys that she's already said no to. Be yourself,
Hey,
be
yes,
honest.
be you, because let they say everybody else is already taken. Shout out to my boy Shorty on that one with Be You Clothing. So to the ladies, all right, we're gonna start off with Susan and we're gonna end with Cynthia. Thank y'all for patiently waiting. Susan, is there anything that you want to conclude as far as speaking to these men out here and these women also?
Yeah, respect yourself, so, and love yourself, so other people, can learn to love you, and be yourself. Don't put that facade on, because whoever's supposed to be in your life is gonna be in your life for the long haul when you're
I dig
yourself.
that. Thank you so much for that, man. Short and sweet, man. All right, Miss Keita, I'm glad you're still holding on to there, man. You have anything in closing to say?
Well, for one, my man Van said it all. He said everything. It is so important to have intent, and Dr. Anatomy saying knowing what you want. Go after what you know, go after what you like. If you don't like it, don't touch it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't add more to it than you have to. So again, be yourself, of course, no facade, know what you want going into it. So when you approach someone, you're not shot down and you're not speed dating and you're not doing all these things. If you know what you want and you voice it and you let it be known, she can't say that she didn't know what to expect from you, period. So if I know what you want, then I have the option to either say yes or no to that. So then I can know that that's not what I want. So again, let their intentions be known, but don't just go after any and everybody just because you can. You have, but the choice is truly yours, and that's what it comes down to. Make the right choice. Don't have trust. You might think you have trust issues. You don't. You have choice issues.
Ooh. Oh, somebody hashtag that. You have hashtag. How would we say that? Hashtag what? Say that again, Keita. Just one more time.
I said you might think you have trust issues, but you don't. You have choice issues.
Boom! Right there. I like that right there. We're gonna have to hashtag that. Cynthia, what do you have to say as far as in closing here?
First, I would like to say, Keita, you better come on with that quote, girl. I like that. I like that. Also, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed the conversation. I like what you guys had to say, Van, Mr. Anatomy, dead on with your ending statements. Again, I go back to be respectful. Ladies, if we out there listening, give them something to respect. It makes it a lot easier in the approach. Be kind to one another, and like I said, be genuinely you. And hello still works.
Yes, y'all better learn something from
I
Charlie
got.
Wilson or something, And listen, you guys, I really do appreciate you guys coming on. I was waiting on the women to come in so it'll be like an even thing. We got different personalities and cultures up in here, man. But one common thing is that we do know that y'all agree on is definitely learning each other, communication, coming correct, coming respectful. That the hashtag of you don't have trust issues, you got choice issues. Well, we just started something today on this. I'm gonna hashtag the heck out of that mug. That's gonna be one of the slogans, man. I appreciate that, Keita. You're the real one for that. But I appreciate Dr. Anatomy, my man Van, Kevin Lambert, Cynthia. Just call me Keita, Susan, and Russell Hall. I do appreciate y'all all coming on, and all to the listeners out there. Checking us out, man. And I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys that's on the screen, and of course I'm gonna do my Montel Williams thing. He gonna bring me in on the screen, real quick, get all sexy for y'all. But pause. But yeah, man, thank y'all for coming out, man. And I'm gonna close this show real quick, Mr. Producer. All right. So y'all, we had a great show today, man. I really appreciate everybody coming in. The topic of the day was approaching women. Have men lost their touch? I think we learned a lot of things. I definitely remember that hashtag. You don't have trust issues, you got choice issues. That sounds like something Drake would say. You feel them? Somebody put that in the song. But anyway, I definitely just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been listening. I appreciate y'all sharing and everything. A definite shout out to WCDT Radio in Winchester, Tennessee. That is the voice of Franklin County, 106.9 FM. You dig? And y'all make sure y'all check them out, man. We're going to be partnering up and stuff. So you can also catch our show on their page also. And, we'll be starting up some things on YouTube here within the next month or so. So shout out to WCDT Radio in Franklin County. Thanks for showing us the love. Of course, y'all make sure y'all check out Dr. Anatomy's book, Anatomy of a Cheater. Check out my boy Kevin Lambert, the cell phone guy. Y'all check out Van with his radio show that he's got coming up, the Scenario Radio Show. I like the way that flows, man. He's going to be vamping up around September. Let's see who else. Check out Cynthia's page because she look like you need to have your own podcast too. You need to check out that Anchor girl. But anyway, thank y'all. Shout out to Lamont Lockridge. Shout out to Christian Davenport, James Harden, BJ Anderson. Who else we got? Molly Davis, Summer Dawn, Mick Sharan. How's it going, Dr. Sharan? Eric Gilbert, and many others, man. Who else we got? I thought I saw Jermaine up in there. Boy, I was waiting on you. Jonathan Edwards, Gwendolyn Carr, Mr. Williams, everybody out there supporting. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all a lot. And here we go. I'm your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And we are out.